Annual Sam Bass Shootout. The shootout is a tradition that has been kept alive by co-directors Vicki Tarver and Amanda Silkett and a variety of talented actors, some of whom have been with the shootout for many of its 34 years, and the thousands of spectators who have enjoyed the presentation. In addition to all the volunteers who have made this shootout possible, we would like to thank Republic Print for the wonderful job that they did on the programs. Before the shootout begins, we ask that you please join us in a moment of silence in honor of all those in Fort Hood who were wounded or lost their lives last November. Thank you. And now we'd like for you to give your attention to Dwayne Silkett and Aaron Wilson for a safety demonstration.
Welcome out, folks, tonight. We appreciate y'all showing up. Like I said, many of us have been doing this for a good portion of the 34 years of this show. And in that time, we've had no serious injuries, simply due to the fact that we do take precautions with these guns. These are real guns. You can actually shoot live ammo out of them and actually hurt somebody, even with the blanks that we use. They are very dangerous. We do take very close attention to precautions with these guns. Dwayne Silkett here is going to show you exactly what these blanks can do.
Cool.
Thank you, and y'all enjoy the show.
That's loud.
Before the shooting begins, we'd like for you to meet the cast while they're all still alive. The Deputy Sheriff of Round Rock, A.W. Grimes, is played by Stan Schumacher. The Deputy Sheriff of Austin, Morris Moore, is Jason Wilson.
I don't know what you're going to do.
The Rangers, Major John B. Jones, is Aaron Wilson.
It's done, please.
Ranger George Harrell is Dean Redding. Ranger Chris Connor is Matthew Moore. Dick Ware is played by Trey Evans.
Are they going to really die?
And our final ranger is James C. Rogers, Jr. We also have Albert Highsmith, played by Henry Grovely. And now for the gang.
What dang?
Frank Jackson is played by Sam J. Seaborn Barnes is Michael Silkett. And that notorious outlaw himself, Sam Bass, is Dwayne Silkett. The horsemen are Joe Gonzalez, Simon Adi, and George Gonzalez. We'd also like for you to meet the storekeeper, Henry Koppel, played by Gary Cooper. The barber is Gene Smith. Please say hello to the Saloon Girls. And the townspeople. And we have a special thank you to Joe Gonzalez for the use of his horses. And now, please give a big round of applause for our directors, Vicki Tarver and Amanda Silkett. My name is Tim Crow, and it is my pleasure to serve as your announcer for tonight's performance. To ensure your safety, we ask that you please remain behind the yellow ribbon at all times. And now, we proudly present the 34th Annual Sam Bass Shootout. We hope you enjoy the show.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
A brave man reposes in death here. Why was he not true? That was the inscription on Sam Bass's first tombstone. The notorious outlaw was fatally shot on the streets of Round Rock in 1878. He died July 21st, 2 days after he was shot. It was his 27th birthday that July day, 132 years ago. But we're getting ahead of the story. Born in Indiana, Sam Bass was orphaned at an early age. As the story goes, Bass later came to Texas, working first on a ranch and later for the sheriff of Denton County. It was the Denton mare that led to Bass's downfall. He raced that mare all over Central Texas, gambling and carousing. Business ventures from gold and silver mining to hauling freight were all unsuccessful. And Bass and his friends took up stagecoach robbing, an activity that turned out to be much more exciting. When they started robbing trains, each gang member gained a price on his head, a total of $2,000 put up by the governor of Texas, the railroad, and the express company. The governor appointed an entire company, 40 Texas Rangers, to capture the Bass gang. Hunted up and down north central Texas, several members of the gang were killed, until finally there were only 4 left: Sam Bass, Seaborn Barnes, Frank Jackson, and Jim Murphy. Unbeknownst to Bass, Murphy, who turned traitor after being captured, had been planted in the gang and was telegraphing information to the Rangers. The plans included robbing a bank, the bank at Round Rock. The gang reached the Round Rock area on Sunday, July the 14th. On Monday, Bass and Murphy came into town to check out the bank. The plan was to go to the bank on foot, leaving the horses hitched in the alley. They were going to rob the bank on Saturday, just at closing time, when Bass figured that all the businessmen would have deposited their money. And that brings us to the events of that historic day in Round Rock. It is a peaceful, ordinary day. No one suspects that in just a few minutes, gunfire will ring through the streets. People are going about their business as usual. Well, look over there. There comes a farm family into town to pick up their supplies. Bet they buy the kids some licorice, too. And hey, look over there. There's Henry Koppel on the porch of his general store. Looks like he's passing the time of day with some of the fellows. Now there are some Rangers in town. Major John B. Jones had gotten Murphy's letter about the planned bank robbery, and he has some men out looking for the Bass gang. He has also warned the bank of the robbery plan and has sent for a contingent of Rangers. He is determined to stop Sam Bass right here in Round Rock. As the Rangers exit from the store, Jones says to his men, "Connor, you, Harrell, and Ware stay in the business district but out of sight. Be certain you keep your eyes on the bank at all times." The men split up to resume their vigil, though they are not expecting any action in Round Rock today, and Dick Ware decides to get a shave. Jones and Moore now meet the Deputy Sheriff of Williamson County, A.W. Grimes, and